Hi everybody. I'm joining for our 13th month in Rampage now, and it's a bit on a celebratory note because as we go into, as a lot of you probably know, OGL stuff happened with the licensing, and apart from that, we'll go over the upcoming collection, the Marshes and Matlets adventure, and also, as you can see on the screen, some Kickstarter updates, which will be exciting. And maybe, Nadav, do you want to just start with that, with what is happening with the first Kickstarter book?
Right. Hello, everyone. We finally got to the point where we are comfortable to say. So, for those who don't know, the OGL is the Open Gaming License. I'm sure most of you do, but for those who are not D&D player, Wizards of the Coast kind of tried to revoke the Open Gaming License, and that caused a lot of fear in the community, and it's been months of trials and tribulations, or how do you say this, Daniel?
You are correct.
I am okay. This is actually a term I learned from Critical Role, nerd data. So basically, we were shitting our pants for a while and thinking of many different ways of how to continue to do what we love and tell the stories we love. And now it doesn't seem like we need to. So hooray to the OGL, STL community, everybody who contributed to this, thank you. We're happy and it's worth celebrating. And it's really not normal. Like, it's a Fortune 500 company that said, well, we're not going to do the thing we said we're going to do. So yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing what a community can do, like, if one comes together. It's crazy to see.
Exactly.
I'm still boycotting the film.
That's fair enough. I think most of us just don't go to cinema anymore, but
yeah, pretty much.
So apart from that, regarding the Kickstarter itself, I know I keep saying this, but the Roll20 stuff is nearly done. The Foundry stuff is nearly done. The book, as you can see, we're very close to getting it. We've had some issues with understanding how to do ISBN stuff. It's all the barcode stuff, all the technical stuff. It's our first publishing. We want to make sure it's right, because every time you republish a book, you need to make sure that all that technical stuff is correct. Otherwise, you need to pay another $500 for this and $500 for that and $500 for this. And we just want to get it right. And better that a good book will get to you. As some of you who are more observant might see, we've changed the name from Book 1 to Volume 1 to 8 because some people raised the concern that Book 1, Book 2, Book 3 sounds like a continuation, and it's not the case. Book 2 is very separate from Book 1, so that's why the name change. We still call it the first book, the second book, but they're not necessarily a continuation of one another. Also, the text obviously in there is not the final result, but it was nice to show what the book would look like. Is there anything else I needed to say about this? I don't remember.
Not really. Just one quick thing for those in Discord. Like, you can look at my shared screen. There you see all the images. And talking about the volumes, we also have one thing in the book, but generally we want to make it on a website clearer, like what is the order of things, especially then in the second book, where it is actually a continuous story, so that it's clear like what comes after each other. So in the first book, you'll have this like nice lineup of these 8 adventures in what order they come. And one thing that maybe Nadav and also Daniel can talk about is just like this small overview here, which goes into, these are all our published works this far, and just like the order they're going, to make it clear that up.
Yes, so we've had a lot of questions about this, and we realized, like, only the people who are producing these things inside the company know exactly what's going on. Some of the most astute people maybe did, but we never really put an overview or anything publicly. So we're working on a page on our website that's going to explain exactly what I'm going to explain now, probably cutting this part of the video and sticking it on there as well, at least temporarily until we have stuff. I would like to say that did you show the table of contents of the Kickstarter?
Just will briefly, yeah.
The thing with the numbers. There will be a table of contents, and it's all going to be linked. And
that table of contents, I don't have it here right now.
That's all right. So all the adventures and every page in the adventures, if you're using the digital PDF, the full PDF, which is going to be released early next month, you will be able to just jump to whichever place you want to go. And also, there's going to be these little tabs on the side, colored for each adventure. So if you're having the physical book, you can and see which adventure you want to, and it's very easy to jump into it, which we're very happy about. So, overview of Mammoth Chronicles adventures, that kind of thing. This is what we're showing here. It's very rough, but just so people understand what's actually going on. Basically, Mammoth Chronicles Book 1, or our first book, now is called Mammoth Chronicles Volume 1 to 8. That was the first Kickstarter. So many names for the same thing. Has 8 different adventures. They're individual adventures. They go from level 4 to level 11. It's very clear, but they're not connected adventures. And then book 2, which will be our second Kickstarter. At least that's, I guess, that works together well. It's called The Horde of Gondal, and that's a continuous storyline and a campaign. And it starts at level 4. And goes all the way to level 10. It's 6 adventures, and there is a level jump between level 8 and level 10. Why? Because me and Daniel were like, time passes, right? A year passes in the storyline, so they should gain a level extra in the storyline. Kind of makes sense at the time. Now, I'm not sure. But it is levels.
3 levels.
From level? No, because from chapter to chapter you gain 1 level. In this case, they just gain 1 extra level. But in any case, and then the Marshes and Mad Lads and Nomads of the Droughtlands, which is the month released in February next month. Those are 2 adventures released in the same continent called Eora. We will have a map for it one day, not too far in the future. That will be a part of it. It will be in book 2. And by the way, all of the stuff in book 2 is technically in the same world as book 1, only a different continent and different timeline, technically. But they are in the same world, and one day we will have a world map, I guess, of sorts, and timeline and that kind of thing. So hopefully that sorts everything out and people understand more what's going on. The last thing is basically book 3, which we're not touching on yet. That will be in a slightly different world, but that's the only teaser I'm going to say. For now, it's still going to be, let's say, high fantasy compatible world, but different tone, and I'll leave it at that. So book 3 stuff, or the third book, I should say, is coming in February, March, right? March. And Kickstarter 2 probably will be coming in April early. The reason we've delayed it a little bit is because we weren't sure what's happening with the OGL. The OGL was sorted out 2 days ago. So now we were like, we can make plans now. Great.
Yeah, which is a nice segue, right? Because we were definitely internal bits unsure, which directions things would go. And can you say more about what the recent developments mean for us?
Yeah, I mean, Daniel, help me here, but basically, you mean what you mean regarding the OGL?
Yeah, exactly.
The
open license.
So we worked on our own game version, and then we had a whole brainstorm about it, and we used the whole team went in and tried to find different ways of doing things, and we're not going to use that because we can continue doing what we're doing. We are talking a little bit about potentially maybe doing things that are Pathfinder adaptable. Looking into that, no promises yet, but we want to support that movement in that way. So for all those who are considering to do that, there maybe. But so far, yeah, we basically will be continuing to do 5e content and hooray. Also, is anybody keeping track of questions on the YouTube?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions? Shoot. Like, just write it up on Discord or on the YouTubes, and we will try to answer as we go.
So definitely like a big relief, and also just on Twitter and Reddit and everywhere, it's like a big sigh was heard. And I don't think anybody expected them to go that far, like back into the direction. So yeah, big relief.
Absolutely.
Before we go into some other topics, are there some questions right now, especially like regarding Kickstarter and like the open gaming license and where things might come in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Just wait for a second if something comes in, like maybe in the tavern chat. Yeah, and otherwise we'll just see it later.
I'll go ahead and make a little note that we're to pull off. Technically, we've been playing with it, but hello, am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay. But we're going to be moving to YouTube only stream, and then moving afterwards to our brainstorms internally in the Discord, which you're very welcome to join.
Yeah, makes it easier, and then we still can have like the more casual hangout on Discord while we brainstorm things. Yeah, and one thing also going forward is it's the end of the month, which means the painting competition, like today, is the last day for entries, and after that, that is closed. And I just wanted to like very briefly, just because we already had some amazing things, just go over some and show some of them, like not lingering too long, but just the stuff that you guys are bringing to the table is crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it will be very hard to choose this month the winner.
It will super hard.
Yeah, super
like
winners.
That, yeah, like the mutant from Vermin Horde with the amazing skulls, and it just continues. And that was the one of the most recent by Mr. Chow Mitch, like who did this whole crazy diorama setup with custom painted background and the logo that fits the adventure. Like,
yeah, unreal.
What can you say?
Also, while we're looking at these, I didn't see this one. This one's great.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. I swear I try to look at everything, but it's hard sometimes. Wow, that's dope. There is one last thing is that for all the Kickstarter people, it is the last 3 days you can grade your pledge or get another book or whatever it is you want to do. Pledge Manager closes at the end of the month. So if you're watching this and you want to do something, go check the last update, jump into the link. And if you miss it and you really want something, you can always email us. And if we haven't produced the books yet, then you're probably fine. But yeah, Pledge Manager closing this month.
Yeah, and also if there are any questions right now, just type them. We'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah.
And that snake color is also gets me every time.
There's a question on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, thank you very much. Question about the first book. If the sprawl has been rebalanced for level 6, saying that originally apparently it was for level 8 to 10.
It's a great question. I believe yes, but I will make a note of it and double check to be sure.
Mm-hmm. Because there's been, for that one, there's been a lot of moving around where things go, right? Because they weren't originally published in the level order. So there has been some moving and some rebalancing. So good.
Yes. However, there is a reason that we were quite comfortable moving it a level earlier. It's because during the playtest, some things were easier and some things were harder, and we're taking all of that into account. So, but we'll take another look to make sure.
Good points. And I think with that we can jump into first Marsha's and Mad Lad's adventure, like what's going on there, because the picture that we have, that was not by the painting competition, but from the Facebook group, and where that is actually being used for, like, I think a custom session, but I think that's a nice entry point to talk about that adventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people talking about the Scrap Dragon. Primarily, they often are asking, like, what is it? Like, what is that, right? Which is a good question. Marshes and Mad Lads is a bit of a departure, actually, in a few ways for us from what we've done generally, right? So this one is not part of the Horde of Gondor kind of big story, right? It's the first adventure like that we've done in quite a few months, right? So, which means it was pretty liberating, actually, putting this together. And although it is designed so that you can kind of fit it in at the beginning, right? Because this is actually the first very low level adventure we've done, right? This is the first one we've done for level 3. Yeah, this is the lowest level adventure we've done, and we want to do more in the future, actually.
So fun.
I see that big smile on your face when I say that. Yeah. All right, so Marshes and Mad Lads. So this is basically it's themed around pretty mad goblin stuff, right? I mean, anyone who's seen the set can tell this is all about goblinoids, right? All the kind of stuff you encounter in that vein, right? That there is one thing in here that is not goblinoid at all, but we kind of reflavored to fit the thing, like the Etin, right? Etin's a giant. And we just kind of ignored that for the set, right? We just were like,
we want the big thing.
Yeah. So this adventure is set in a area of the world called the Altever Basin, right? And the idea is that a long time ago in this part of the world, the deity, the patron kind of deity of goblinoids, Bazugal, had a showdown with a much nicer deity, the deity of kind of rivers and streams, right? And got smote, right? And was cast down. His avatar was destroyed, right? And dissipated across the marshes. And every so often, right? Bazugal tries to kind of claw his way back into the world by one means or another. And in this kind of region, the people that live here that kind of that subsist on like fishing and that kind of thing, right? They have over time kind of without necessarily always knowing the details, they've developed a bunch of traditions around kind of preventing that from happening, right? They have a bunch of festivals and rituals that kind of feed into this. And in this adventure, the players basically show up when these festivals are kicking off. Right, so a whole bunch at the beginning of the adventure is full of little kind of fun things you can do in Haversfen, right, the biggest kind of village in the area.
Nice.
So you've got this page. This kind of shows you've got all these like weird games they play, right? They're all kind of based around the idea that this is a marsh dwelling fishing community, right? So you have this one where you're doing like a drinking contest. There's this thing where you're kind of you're doing like a swimming kind of thing. There's one where I think you're trying to like kind of wriggle around like fishing baskets and stuff, right? It's all really weird stuff, right?
I
And
can
it kind of
especially see that like as a new group, like level 3, like almost like a bonding thing where first you get to do some fun like stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we wanted the beginning of this adventure to scratch that like low level itch where you're interacting more with townspeople and kind of having fun with the normal human beings in this world, right? Because you kind of you lose that as you go along in D&D, right? Eventually, you kind of become pretty soon you become sort of superheroes, right? And you have a lot less chances to kind of to be doing this sort of stuff, right? But so this year, the rituals that are usually taking place are being disrupted by Tanak Vor and Urozao, the bad guys, the main bad guys of this, who are a hobgoblin kind of warlord and his best buddy, Bugbear, right? Who they've kind of assembled an army of goblinoids, a small army of goblinoids, and they're hoping to disrupt this ritual and use a bunch of like lore they've gathered over time to resurrect Bazugal. And the whole thing kind of ends up being a kind of a romp through the swamp, right? Kind of trying to figure out what are all these goblins doing, what's going on, and then eventually facing down Tanak Vor and stopping Bazugal from being resurrected, right? There's a lot of weird stuff on the way. Like there is the scrap dragon, right? One of the weirdest things we've made, which is so one of the ideas in this is we wanted to put a little weird spin on goblinoids, right? And one of the ideas is that like when Bazugal fell, he kind of spawned the goblinoid kind of species, right?
That's cool.
And they're all different parts of him, right? So like bugbears are like made from his black heart, goblins made from his feet, the hobgoblins are kind of like his head, right? They're the kind of the thinkers, right? And the idea is that in this kind of setting, goblins actually get like kind of mind controlled when they're around hobgoblins and bugbears, right? So they kind of they don't want to really be doing this, but like as soon as they're in the area of them, they have to start like taking saving throws to not just do whatever the hell they're told, right? And so we have this character Ghibli, who I believe has his name on screen right now.
Yeah.
And who everyone has seen as part of the set, who is a goblin whose nose has been smashed in, right? And so the kind of pheromone or something that the goblins, the hobgoblins and bugbears put out, he doesn't smell it anymore. So he's unaffected. So he's been trying to build this mad contraption to free his fellow goblins so that he can be the king, right? He can rule them.
Under the pretense of like, this is a great thing to attack the humans.
Yeah,
right?
there we go. Yeah.
Which probably is true too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So kind of Ghibli is like this kind of shifty character that you can kind of make an alliance with and learn from, and try and get the scrap dragon for, right. So you can use it. It can be piloted by the players during the final fights.
There are 3 different positions, a little bit like
Yeah.
the Millennium Falcon. Like one is doing the catapult, one is doing
A little
the
bit like the
navigating, one is doing the right.
I mean, I was going to say like a tank, but sure, like the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. No, great. And the kind of the final fight is, under this blood moon, right? The kind of the typical sort of like there's a dark ritual going on, and the moon is red, and even if you whether you succeed or not, right? The goblins attempt the kind of the ritual, right? And if you've foiled it, they do not create a god. They just smush a bunch of goblinoids together into this like mutated, insane Etin creature, right? Which is the final fight.
Little note about this is it's a giant Etin. It will be a base 75. Some people will be like, oh, it's supposed to be a base 50. But in our version, he's 75. but we're doing 2 versions of STLs, 175 and 150. So
And yeah, that
no
might be
one
the thing
worry.
we do sometimes for like things that are we would like to be super awesome and huge, right? But that kind of fit certain creatures, right? That are a little smaller, right? Just
So
have
you
a
can
smaller.
still use it like in normal play as normal
Yeah.
item.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Also, like
Yeah.
some things we just don't agree on their size, like
Yeah.
Basilisk. Like why? Why is that 25?
Yeah, I
Somebody
mean, but I
argued
didn't
me,
even
but-
agree on how they look. Like, because I hadn't seen a basilisk for ages before we made one. I just thought they were snakes. I was like, wait,
Even
they're
better.
lizards? Oh yeah, they're lizards. Like,
Cool. Yeah. So that's essentially the adventure, and you end up fighting like a big smushed together kind of goblin, hobgoblin, bugbear mush, which is the Etin. That's why it has 2 ed. If you want to be funny about it, you can say that the goblin is like poking his head through the belly of the Etin kind of thing because he's stuck in there or whatever. But there's technically 3 of them in there.
One small thing that I really enjoyed while I just browsed through it real quick is that you have this if they fail, because there's so much they have to do right, in order to stop that ritual, that they're only level 3 characters, so that might also be like a nice introduction for a longer story arc if they actually do not manage to stop that ritual.
Yes,
absolutely.
but however, it is quite balanced, and you get a lot of help from the river god, yada yada, right? So there's a good chance for you to succeed if the players are not making an ass out of themselves, right? Which happens. So there's plenty of help during the adventure.
Nice.
But yeah. So that's Marshes and Lands. By the way, this is the first time we've included a co-writer. So we've had the help of Zane. He has been very much involved. Me and him together figured out the storyline, and he did a bunch of the writing, and Daniel did a bunch of the writing, and it was a team effort, and it was nice to get this new energy from. I say this young guy. He's older than me. He looks younger. So, but he was fantastic, and Zane, fantastic job. Great work.
Yeah, much like the Scrap Dragon, this adventure is powered by friendship, right? Yeah, this was a big team effort.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Which, Nadav, if I can give you one thing, maybe to check if people comment in Discord, so I think that makes things easier. While we then would move over to the February collection, which is Nomads of the Droughtlands, which is, as you can see by that amazing artwork, which I still love, is all in the spirits of cats going into like a foreign land that is ruled and inhabited by 2 like distinct and separate species, the Leorin and the Kamakali. Right? Thank you very much.
Just to be clear,
yeah,
that's not a rabbit. that's supposed to be a lynx eye cat. Somehow in this version, in the logo, it still looks a little bit rabbity. We probably will fix that. But technically, yes, it's kind of like desert.
Yeah, sorry, no rabbit people in this one.
No,
we'll have to do that later.
Maybe.
yeah, my thoughts exactly.
We'll see. But cats are popular, and we have many fun things in this one that we're very happy about. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna show the we have new renders, new types of renders that we've been working very hard. Everybody, round of applause for Rodrigo. He's been working like a motherfucker to make these beautiful. It's been a tricky process for months, and he's done such a great job. Rodrigo is one of our senior sculptors. Super amazing work. Very proud to show them. We're not gonna. Yeah, there we go. So this is it's a certain. We're not gonna say too much about that adventure because you'll need to wait for that for the next month. Because, but that is a certain demon cat with a thumb in a certain direction.
Exactly, because just real quick, right? The next adventure is also like having Mr. Chow, who I think is in Discord, who's also on board with writing.
Yes, it
So-
was also.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we don't want to spoil too much of that adventure.
Exactly. So there's a king. I mean, what do we say while we're showing this? I think we should have started showing before.
They're cats.
Cats
These
go
are
meow.
cats. Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably scroll through these a little bit.
We can,
quicker.
but like definitely, it's like this. Like you have two very distinct types of catfolk,
Hmm.
and I also just want to zoom in a bit on some details because I think, yeah, like the renders definitely show the
Yeah, I love these guys.
yeah,
They
like
look awesome.
the textures and also just all the stuff that they have on the belts and everything.
Yeah, this is David going nuts on muscle tone stuff, just being like, "Yep, I know everything about anatomy, and I will throw it into
Yeah.
one mini." Like,
Try me.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. This is like my first time getting to see them after writing the adventure with all these guys in them.
And also like that they have some different weapons. Just nice to see. And then we have some female archers. Are they female?
yeah, those
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
female lines and male lines look pretty different.
I just
Like,
wanted to
they
make
almost
sure.
look like different factions, yeah.
Again, with some very dynamic poses.
Oh wow, I haven't seen all of these actually. These look great.
I adore this one.
Yeah, it's great.
Same. Actually, this is really this is
Like that's actually
It's
good
definitely one of my
use of a
favorites.
tactical rock in my book.
Speaking of tactical rocks, little mini announcement here, which we should have done in the beginning. We're going to be changing a little bit the way we do bases moving forward. We're going to be doing. We're going to try to be doing for the third book, which is after the cats. So we're going to be doing some polls and stuff like that about this, but we kind of want to go a little bit for those of you who use cast and play. We're kind of doing like a base set that it's a bunch of bases who are 25 and a bunch of bases who are 50, and then the 75 and the 100 millimeter bases, they're going to be individuals. But for the 25 and the 50, we're going to make some standard bases that you can use with whatever, and the tactical rocks are going to come. If the creature stands with a leg on a rock, which happens a lot, it's going to come with the mini, either as part of the mini or separate. We're not quite sure. Probably as part of the mini. Still figuring that stuff out. But it's also nice because we will also, for those of you who are into wargaming, I nearly said we might do some elliptical bases as well.
Oh, nice.
So that can help for those of you who care about that, and for those who can be used as unofficial proxies for whatever. So we will be discussing that.
So these on the screen right now, these are the Karakari.
Yeah, these are the Karakali. So they're kind of designed more like if the Leorin are kind of warrior sort of people, these guys are more kind of roguey, kind of bardy, right? A bit like a bit more softer as a people, right?
And this half moon pose is
I love this so much.
fantastic.
I love this one so much.
Yeah, David killed it. Yeah, fantastic. Is it
Oh,
David and Elio?
Of course. Yeah, of course it's intentional.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know, especially the one a few renders ago. It just, I don't know, the render just, I don't know, the one before, after. Yeah, that one. And this one, I don't know. For me, it just looks so real. I'm just super happy with these. We're still working on the backgrounds and how we're going to do it, but just super happy with these new renders.
Yeah.
Hopefully they give a good idea of what these might generally will look like, especially scaled up. right?
Yeah, and one of the ones I've been looking forward to the most.
Hey, so Brogan, our VIP man. You can say something, Brogan. It's okay. We've had a few special individuals who are really supported us via the Kickstarters to make some custom minis, and this was one of them. This is a blade dancer, and it's one of the Mammoth heroes, like the unrelated to the story kind of characters that we release every month. And this was this was a challenge for sure, but we're super happy with it. And Brogan, it sounds like you're happy. I don't know if you're happy.
Yeah, no, that's great, man.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Nice to hear.
It's on the printer right now for test printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael.
I've got to say, man, this set looks a cut above the others in regards to the textures.
Yeah, they do look really cool.
Yeah,
I was actually pretty blown away when I first saw them. Like,
I like the cloth and the metal skin. It's fantastic.
Yeah, one of the archers as well had like the smallest ever belt buckle, but it looked like there was 4 different logos on it.
Also, to be, I don't know if you can notice on these knives, but we're paying more close attention to how we're making swords and fingers and making things less breakable. We're double checking our standards. I know people have been like, your stuff is thin at times, so we're paying more attention to this. We're learning.
Yeah, I know particularly last month, the Hobgoblin Warlord had some like little tiny things in his hair, and they were just like, you couldn't do. You'd have to snap them off every time, otherwise they would just like just the pressure of your paintbrush would break it.
Huh.
All right. Oh, so
this I forgot this exists.
This requires explaining. So basically, once a month we try to do something cute, kind of balance in the epic.
That is not cute.
Well, cute to some, cute or silly or light or fun. And this month we were like, hey, David, do a smaller cat, like a kid cat or something like that. And he was like, yes, I'll make a cat who. David, do you want to explain yourself, or do I give you excuses? Or
you are doing great.
He's got the facial expression of the guy from The Princess Bride.
Yeah, he got it.
This guy, I believe, the name of this is Itigo Montoya, right?
I'm trying to copy a picture. Just he's saying, "Hello, my name is blah blah blah."
Yeah, so
prepare to die.
His name is Katiago I don't know exactly the name, somewhere. But yeah,
it really should be like Mutoya or something, or I don't know.
Yes.
Katigo Montoya.
So he's some sort of like either a small cat or a young cat with a mustache, of course, that is challenging you on the streets or something, a bit lighthearted in the adventure. We're still figuring that out. But it's
definitely an NPC in the adventure that you could use this guy for.
Fantastic. Great.
Yes.
And the 2 scar on the chin.
Oh, he has the cuts. I did not even see this. It probably won't print.
Oh wow! That's attention.
David, that is crazy, David. Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
well, there we go. Okay.
Well, from cute, we have some very fiery cats.
Yes. So some people were like, "Oh, that's a manticore." It's not. Stop saying it's a manticore. It's not a manticore. These are Grimalkin. Daniel, if you wanna. But we'll expand on them next month a bit more when we explain that adventure.
Yeah. But the idea is that they're like fire-imbued cats, right? That's the reason for the texture.
Devil cats.
Devil cats. Winged devil cats. Yes. And that one is one that I think also might
Yes, so this one is going through a portal. So there's only half of him. You don't get the tail. It's like half price and half cat. No, I'm joking. Yeah, but no, really, you don't. There isn't The half of it, he's just going through a portal.
Yeah, so these guys teleport, right? They do like a kind of fiery, and so we decided to just make one that is midway, right?
And then for the finale,
we only have one thing left.
Oh, that's not the right render. There's a newer one.
Oh, then I'm very sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. But this one is it's the dragon turtle. Oh, now I understand why some of the renders weren't correct. Okay. Yeah.
Famously, a species of cat called dragon turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We wanted to do a dragon turtle for a while, and we kind of made him an important part of the storyline. And yeah, so he's there now, and he's 100 mil, and he's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, there are also busts in the folder. I don't know if you took a look.
I did not, sadly, no.
That's okay. Yeah, that's why.
Why does the shell look as weird as it does? Maybe that's an explanation.
No, I think we'll do that next month.
Okay.
We'll do that next month. Yeah. When we break down this adventure.
That is completely fair. Any first impressions, questions regarding these renders, the upcoming collection?
It's completely leveled up.
Nice. Good.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't get. There's a ton of those textures are absolutely amazing. There's one of the quivers on the archer as well. Actually looks like leather.
Nice.
Yeah. The textures are crazy. I agree.
Bravo to the sculpting team and the rendering team.
Yep, I do like the. I did notice the change of weapon. I feel like I complained about that too many times.
Nice. All right. Next topic. What do we have left?
What do we have left?
I think
we
went through pretty most of the things, yeah. Except if there are we just allotted some times for possible questions or comments, also things that we haven't touched on here. One thing that I saw by somebody who can't make it was question about maybe possible NPC sets. We are doing the Mammoth heroes, which are always just heroes or NPCs that are set apart. But if there's maybe an idea for either Kickstarter or maybe a set that is just focused solely on heroes or NPCs, or more NPCs that can be there to, if you're in a crowd or in a city and you can just throw in some NPCs.
Yes, absolutely. I think we were just talking about this today, actually. There's definitely a plan for in book 4 for a whole set of a Human Kingdom thing. But there's also as we progress on releasing book 3, we're hoping to do more humans. So, for example, in the next release, there are 3 female humans, and we're hoping to. It's tricky, right? Because it's hard to do. Definitely as stretch goals on the Kickstarter, there will be those options. But as a whole set of just NPCs, it's tricky. Mm-hmm. It's not really what we have committed to do every month, and
because we're already expanding the amount of terrain stuff we do, so people have to play, and the question is also a bit, could NPCs figure into in a similar slot maybe?
Potentially. It's hard. We're actually working on on going for quality over quantity, so we're actually reducing the amount of clones just to get a certain number or whatever, which is tricky to do. Oh, there are a bunch of terrains for this as well, which are really, really nice. There's a hut, there is some beautiful savanna trees, and like a Mongolian-esque hut. It's not ready for render, sadly, yet. And there's also some tall grass kind of looking things, like tall reeds. But we will show that another time.
Yes.
Yeah, any last questions before we round this up, guys?
Yeah, I think with all that extra detail, you're going to have to bend to David's wishes and let those 75mm minis get sorted.
75? Sorry? What do you mean?
Like doing these in 75mm, like this stuff.
So the
Yeah,
details can shine.
That's what. Well, there is the bust for that, but we will be doing. There will be in the next Kickstarter potentially also a chance to resize and get supersized minis as well, like we're doing with the first Kickstarter. So, yeah, I mean, making supports is really expensive and really time-consuming. Michael has been working his butt off every time, and the bigger it is, the more it fails, and the more time, and the more frustration, and the more resin, and yeah, not easy to make big things. So trying to keep that to a reasonable amount. But yeah.
Do we usually show off art for the next set at this point?
No.
Or...
Oh, sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
Who said yes?
Do we even have it? We do, I think, but.
We do. We're probably not going to be showing it today. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. We'll call it a day. And for all of you who want to hang out, we're going to be doing a brainstorm over at Discord. We're going to be talking about some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Thanks so much, and see you there or next month. Thank you.
Season back, guys.